Welcome to the Bedtime Lab, dear friend. It's a place where sweet dreams and gentle knowledge merge, guiding you softly into a restful night. Tonight, we'll explore the enchanting world of constellations and mythology. Just imagine the stories woven into the night sky, each star a character, each constellation a chapter in the vast cosmic book above us. It's like having an ancient storyteller whispering tales from the heavens themselves. As you settle in, feel free to share where you're tuning in from in the comments. It's always delightful to know which corner of the globe my fellow stargazers are nestled in. Just think, no matter where we are, we all look up at the same sky, don't we? It's a comforting thought that connects us across distances. Let me share something interesting right away. Did you know that the constellation of Orion, one of the most recognizable in the night sky, has been known to many cultures not just as a hunter, but as a giant or even a shepherd? In Greek mythology, Orion was a mighty hunter, but in ancient Egypt, stars of Orion were associated with the god Osiris, a symbol of life and death. Isn't it fascinating how the same group of stars can hold different meanings for different people? Speaking of which, have you ever heard of the Pleiades, often called the Seven Sisters? It's a cluster of stars within the constellation Taurus. But here's the intriguing part. Even though we call them the Seven Sisters, most people can only see 6 stars with the naked eye. Many cultures have stories explaining this anomaly, often involving the loss or hiding of one sister. Can you imagine how these ancient tales were crafted, each culture offering its unique explanation? And here's another story to ponder. The Big Dipper, which is part of the larger constellation Ursa Major, has fascinated cultures around the world. In Native American lore, it's often seen as a great bear pursued by hunters. As the bear runs across the sky, the hunters chase it throughout the year, explaining the movement of the constellations. Doesn't it make you wonder how these stories shaped people's understanding of the world? Let's drift to another part of the sky and talk about Cassiopeia. This constellation is named after a vain queen in Greek mythology who boasted about her unrivaled beauty. Her pride led to a series of events that placed her among the stars, where she sits on her celestial throne. Have you ever thought about how the stars could serve as a reminder of stories and lessons from history? Speaking of celestial reminders, did you know that the constellation Draco represents a dragon? In Greek mythology, Draco is linked to Ladon, the dragon that guarded the golden apples in the garden of the Hesperides. Just imagine a dragon winding its way through the sky, its form eternal and untouchable among the stars. Here's a rather charming fact. The constellation Lyra is associated with the myth of Orpheus, the legendary musician whose music could enchant all living things and even inanimate objects. His lyre was placed in the sky by the gods after his death, a testament to the beauty and power of his music. It makes you wonder about other celestial tributes hidden in the night sky, doesn't it? And then there's the story of Andromeda, a princess rescued by Perseus. The constellation is most famous for containing the Andromeda Galaxy, the closest spiral galaxy to our own Milky Way. Imagine this distant galaxy visible to the naked eye on a clear night, part of a story that's thousands of years old. Let me tell you about another starry tale, the constellation of Scorpius, which is said to have killed Orion the hunter. According to the myth, the scorpion was sent by the earth goddess Gaia, and in their eternal chase, Orion and Scorpius are never seen in the sky at the same time. Isn't it intriguing how the heavens can be a stage for such dramatic stories? Here's a little-known tidbit. The constellation Sagittarius, often depicted as a centaur archer, is said to be aiming its arrow at the heart of the scorpion in Scorpius. This cosmic alignment is a testament to the creativity of ancient astronomers who found meaningful patterns in the stars. And as we continue our cosmic journey, let's not forget about Aquarius, the water bearer. In Greek mythology, Aquarius is associated with Ganymede, a beautiful young prince who was taken to Mount Olympus to serve as the cupbearer to the gods. This story of divine favor and service is captured in the stars, reminding us of how mythology and astronomy are beautifully intertwined. Before we drift off further, consider the constellation Pegasus, the winged horse. In mythology, Pegasus was born from the blood of the Gorgon Medusa and became a symbol of wisdom and poetry. The stars that form Pegasus in the sky might inspire you to imagine tales of your own if you look closely enough. And lastly, let me share a friendly thought about the constellation Capricornus, the sea goat. This enigmatic creature has its roots in Babylonian mythology and later Greek tales, often associated with Pan, the god of the wild. Isn't it amazing how these ancient stories have traveled through time, from the ancient world to us, still shimmering above in the night sky? As you close your eyes tonight, remember that the stars above carry stories meant to be passed down generation after generation. Each twinkle is like a gentle nudge, a whisper from ages past, encouraging you to dream, imagine, and wonder. Thank you for joining me on this starlit journey, and sweet dreams from the Bedtime Lab. Let me share something intriguing about the constellation Gemini. In Greek mythology, Gemini represents the twins Castor and Pollux. But here's the surprising part. While Pollux was immortal, Castor was mortal. When Castor died, Pollux begged Zeus to let them share immortality, so the twins were placed in the sky forever. Isn't it heartwarming to think of such a bond that transcends mortality? Now, speaking of celestial twins, did you know that the constellation Leo is associated with the Nemean lion, a creature with a coat so tough it was impervious to weapons? Hercules, in his famous 12 labors, was tasked with slaying this lion. The stars of Leo remind us of the courage it took, the lion becoming a symbol of bravery and strength. Every time you glance at Leo in the night sky, perhaps you'll feel a little braver too. And here's something quite fascinating. The constellation Virgo is often linked to Demeter, the Greek goddess of the harvest. It's particularly interesting because the brightest star in Virgo, Spica, is thought to represent the ear of grain she holds. The next time you see Virgo, you might pause to appreciate the ancient connection between the stars and the cycles of the earth. Speaking of cycles, did you know that the constellation Aries is connected to the story of the Golden Fleece? Aries represents the ram with the golden wool that was sought after by Jason and the Argonauts. The fleece was a symbol of authority and kinship, making Aries a constellation with ties to power and adventure. Can you imagine the daring voyage of Jason, all inspired by a constellation? Here's a little-known fact. The constellation Pisces is often associated with the Greek myth of Aphrodite and Eros, transformed into fish to escape the monster Typhon. They tied themselves together with a rope to avoid getting separated in the chaotic waters, a reminder of connection and unity even in trying times. Doesn't that add a layer of depth to the stars twinkling above? Let me tell you about another constellation that holds mysteries of the sea, Cetus. Often referred to as the sea monster, Cetus is tied to the story of Andromeda. In mythology, Cetus was the creature sent to devour Andromeda until Perseus arrived to save her. Every time I think of Cetus, I'm reminded of the tales of heroism and rescue that have echoed through the ages. While we're on the subject of heroes, did you know the constellation Hercules is named after the legendary hero himself? This was the largest constellation in the sky and is a nod to Hercules' incredible strength and the challenges he faced. Imagine looking up and seeing the embodiment of strength and perseverance in the heavens. And here's a delightful tidbit about the constellation Corona Borealis, which represents the crown of Ariadne. In Greek mythology, Dionysus gave Ariadne a crown as a wedding gift, and upon her death, he placed it in the sky to honor her. This cluster of stars forms a semicircle resembling a crown, shining brightly as a celestial token of love and remembrance. Have you heard about the constellation Bootes, often seen as a herdsman or plowman in the sky? It's thought to represent Arcas, the son of Zeus, who was transformed into a bear by Hera and placed next to his mother Callisto in the heavens. Bootes' presence reminds us of the complex relationships and transformations in mythology. Speaking of transformation, the constellation Phoenix is named after the mythical bird that rises from its ashes. This image of renewal and rebirth is symbolic of hope and the eternal cycle of life. As you gaze at Phoenix, perhaps you'll be reminded of the endless potential for new beginnings. And here's a fascinating connection. The constellation Canis Major is home to Sirius, the brightest star in our night sky. It's often associated with Orion's faithful hunting dog. In ancient times, the appearance of Sirius in the morning sky marked the hottest days of summer, known as the dog days. Isn't it amazing how a simple star can influence calendars and weather folklore? Lastly, consider the constellation Crux, or the Southern Cross. It's a prominent feature in the Southern Hemisphere and holds great cultural significance, especially in navigation. For many indigenous cultures, Crux has been a guiding light, a celestial compass pointing them in the right direction. When you spot Crux, it's like catching a glimpse of an ancient GPS. Each of these stories and constellations reminds us that the night sky is not just a collection of stars, but a tapestry of human history and imagination. As you rest your head tonight, perhaps these tales will ignite your dreams, sparking curiosity and wonder for the stories written in the stars. Each twinkle might serve as a gentle reminder that the universe is vast, full of stories waiting to be discovered and shared. May your dreams be as limitless as the night sky above. Have you ever gazed up at the night sky and wondered about the stories woven into the tapestry of stars? Let me share something intriguing with you. The constellation Lyra is linked to the ancient Greek musician Orpheus. Orpheus was known for his enchanting music, so beautiful it could charm even stones and streams. When he passed away, his lyre was placed among the stars as a tribute to his musical talents. Isn't it fascinating to think that somewhere above, a melody is forever playing in the sky? Speaking of melodies, did you know that the constellation Cygnus is also associated with music, but in a rather unique way? Cygnus, often depicted as a swan, is said to represent the swan form taken by Zeus. The swan is sometimes thought of as a symbol of poetic inspiration and grace. Imagine watching Cygnus glide across the heavens, a silent ballet of stars dancing to a celestial tune only the universe can hear. This reminds me of another constellation with a remarkable story, Orion. However, did you know there's an intriguing connection between Orion and the constellation Scorpius? In mythology, Orion was a great hunter, but he boasted that he could kill all animals on Earth. This angered Gaia, the Earth goddess, who sent a giant scorpion, Scorpius, to deal with him. It is said that Orion and Scorpius chase each other across the sky, never appearing at the same time. This cosmic game of hide and seek adds a playful dynamic to the celestial sphere. And here's a delightful fact about the constellation Libra. It is unique because it represents a non-living object, the scales of justice. In Roman mythology, these scales belonged to Astrea, the goddess of justice, who was associated with fairness and balance. As you ponder Libra's balanced scales hovering above, you might appreciate the universal quest for harmony and equality represented by this constellation. Speaking of harmony, the constellation Draco shares a tale of guardianship. Draco, the dragon, is often linked to the Hesperides, the nymphs who guarded the golden apples in the Garden of Hera. The stars of Draco twist and turn like a serpent wrapped around the garden, eternally protecting its treasures. As you picture Draco, you might envision the steadfast guardians who keep watch over precious things in our world. Another constellation that tells of a protective nature is Taurus, the bull. Taurus is connected to the myth of Europa, whom Zeus transformed into a bull to carry her safely across the sea. The bull's powerful presence in the night sky serves as a reminder of strength and protection, the embodiment of the steadfast and powerful forces in our lives. But did you know there's a constellation that speaks of mystery and hidden treasures? The constellation Serpens is unique because it's split into two parts. Serpens Caput, the head, and Serpens Cauda, the tail, with the constellation Ophiuchus in between. Ophiuchus represents the serpent-bearer, Asclepius, who learned the secrets of immortality from a serpent. This story of knowledge and healing has intrigued astronomers and storytellers alike, much like a puzzle waiting to be unraveled. And here's something thought-provoking. The constellation Aquarius holds a connection to an ancient myth of service and generosity. Aquarius is often identified with Ganymede, a young boy carried to Olympus by Zeus to serve as cupbearer to the gods. His role was not just of servitude but of honor, symbolizing the sharing of life-giving water. This celestial water-bearer might remind you of the importance of kindness and generosity flowing through our lives like an ever-present stream. As we're talking about flowing elements, the constellation Hydra, representing the many-headed water serpent, offers a story filled with resilience. According to mythology, Hercules faced Hydra as one of his 12 labors. Each time a head was cut off, 2 more would grow back, teaching us that challenges can be relentless, yet perseverance and strategy can lead to victory. When you see Hydra stretched across the night sky, perhaps it will inspire you to tackle your own challenges with unwavering resolve. Similarly inspiring is the constellation Pegasus, which embodies the spirit of freedom. Born from the blood of Medusa, Pegasus was a winged horse who soared across the heavens. This mythical creature became a symbol of poetic inspiration and the boundless freedom of the imagination. When you spot Pegasus galloping among the stars, let it remind you of the soaring potential of your dreams and ambitions. While we're exploring the heavens, have you ever considered the story behind the constellation Andromeda? Andromeda was a princess who was chained to a rock as a sacrifice to the sea monster Cetus, only to be saved by Perseus. Her constellation lies adjacent to Perseus, a testament to the everlasting bond forged through bravery and rescue. As you follow Andromeda's stars, you might reflect on the acts of courage that save and transform lives. And let me tell you about the constellation Aries, not just known for the Golden Fleece, but also for its role as the herald of spring. In ancient times, the rising of Aries marked the beginning of the new year in many cultures, a time of renewal and hope. This celestial ram symbolizes new beginnings, urging us to embrace the ever-turning cycle of life. Speaking of cycles, the constellation Capricornus is often associated with the mythical sea goat, a creature with the front half of a goat and the tail of a fish. Capricornus is connected to the god Pan, who transformed into the sea goat to escape the monster Typhon. This dual nature embodies the idea of adaptation and change, a gentle reminder that flexibility can lead us through life's turbulent waters. As you drift into slumber, let these tales of constellations and mythology guide your dreams. Imagine a night sky filled with stories of adventure, love, and transformation, each star a beacon of the wonders that have captivated humanity for centuries. May these celestial narratives offer you a sense of peace and wonder, illuminating your dreams with the light of ages past. Let me share a fascinating tidbit about the constellation Sagittarius. This constellation is often depicted as a centaur, a creature that's half human and half horse, wielding a bow and arrow. The mythological inspiration behind Sagittarius is believed to be Chiron, a wise and kind centaur who was a tutor to many great heroes like Achilles and Hercules. Unlike other centaurs known for their unruly behavior, Chiron was celebrated for his wisdom and healing abilities. When you look up at Sagittarius, envision the balance of strength and wisdom guiding the arrow through the night sky, an eternal tribute to the pursuit of knowledge and understanding. Now, let's turn our gaze to the constellation Bootes, the herdsman. It's said that Bootes represents a plowman who drives the Big Dipper around the North Pole, forever guiding it as it circles through the heavens. Bootes is often linked to the myth of Arcas, the son of Callisto, who was transformed into a bear and later became the constellation Ursa Major. Arcas's story is one of devotion and transformation, a reminder of the ties that bind us to family and the stars. Speaking of familial bonds, have you ever wondered about the constellation Gemini? It tells the tale of the twins Castor and Pollux. While they were brothers, they shared different fates. Castor was mortal, while Pollux was immortal. In a gesture of profound love, Pollux shared his immortality with Castor, and together they were transformed into the constellation Gemini. This story reflects themes of sacrifice and eternal connection of the unbreakable bonds of brotherhood. Here's something intriguing about the constellation Leo, the lion. In Greek mythology, Leo is associated with the Nemean lion, which Hercules defeated as one of his 12 labors. The lion was said to have skin so tough that no weapon could pierce it, which speaks to the power and majesty embodied in this constellation. When you observe Leo's regal shape in the sky, you might feel a sense of courage and determination, much like the legendary hero who conquered it. As we wander through the stars, let's pause at the constellation Virgo. Virgo is often linked to Demeter, the goddess of the harvest, and her daughter Persephone. This myth speaks of the cycles of the seasons and the eternal return of spring after the barren winter. Virgo's stars shine brightly as a symbol of fertility and renewal, inviting you to consider the natural cycles of life and growth that echo in your own life. Have you heard of the constellation Canis Major? This constellation is home to Sirius, the brightest star in the night sky. Often called the dog star, Sirius is part of the myth of Orion, serving as his faithful hunting companion. In ancient Egypt, the rising of Sirius marked the flooding of the Nile, a life-giving event. This celestial companion not only highlights the loyalty and companionship between Orion and his dog, but also reminds us of the bountiful gifts of nature that sustain us. Speaking of companionship, consider the constellation Aquarius once more. In some myths, Aquarius is also associated with Deucalion, a figure reminiscent of Noah, who survived a great flood and repopulated the earth. This story of survival and renewal is woven into the fabric of the night sky, reminding us of humanity's resilience and the promise of new beginnings even after the greatest of storms. Let's explore the constellation Pisces, known for its connection to the myth of Aphrodite and Eros. According to legend, when the monster Typhon threatened the gods, Aphrodite and her son Eros transformed into fish to escape. They tied themselves together with a cord to avoid separation in the ocean. The constellation Pisces serves as a celestial narrative of love and unity, illustrating how bonds can endure even in the most turbulent waters. And did you know the constellation Lyra, the lyre, is associated with Orpheus, the legendary musician? Orpheus's music was so enchanting that it could charm all living things and even inanimate objects. When Orpheus was finally reunited with the stars, his lyre was placed in the sky as a symbol of the transcendent power of music and art. As you trace Lyra's strings among the stars, let them remind you of the beauty and inspiration that creativity can bring to your life. As we continue our starry journey, let's not forget the constellation Cassiopeia, named after a queen known for her vanity. According to the myth, Cassiopeia boasted about her unrivaled beauty, which angered the sea nymphs and led to her punishment. Her constellation appears like a W or an M in the sky, depending on the season, a reminder of the cautionary tale about pride and humility. Cassiopeia's story may encourage you to embrace modesty and grace as guiding stars along your path. The myth of the constellation Auriga, the charioteer, offers another story of skill and guidance. Auriga is often depicted holding the reins of a chariot, and some myths associate him with Erichthonius, an ancient king of Athens who was said to have invented the chariot. This constellation stands as a symbol of ingenuity and innovation, guiding us to harness our potential and steer our lives with purpose and intention. As you drift among these celestial narratives, imagine the countless stories that the night sky holds, each one a thread in the vast tapestry of human history and imagination. Let their timeless lessons and enchanting mysteries lull you into a peaceful slumber where dreams are filled with the wonders of the stars above. Let me share something interesting about the constellation Pegasus, the winged horse. In Greek mythology, Pegasus emerged from the neck of Medusa when she was slain by Perseus. This majestic creature symbolizes poetic inspiration and the ability to rise above earthly constraints. When you look up and spot Pegasus galloping across the sky, you might feel encouraged to let your imagination soar and reach for your own creative heights. Speaking of heights, have you ever considered the story of the constellation Andromeda? She was a princess in Greek myth, chained to a rock as a sacrifice to a sea monster. Perseus, after his encounter with Medusa, flew to her rescue on Pegasus. Andromeda's constellation is a testament to bravery and rescue, shining brightly as a reminder that courage and love can free us from our fears. Here's a fascinating thought about the constellation Cetus, the sea monster that threatened Andromeda. Cetus is often depicted as a giant sea creature, reflecting humanity's age-old fear and awe of the ocean's depths. This constellation invites you to contemplate the mysteries of the deep, both in the sea and within your own subconscious. What hidden treasures or challenges might you discover if you dare to explore? And did you know about the constellation Draco, the dragon? In various myths, Draco represents a serpent or dragon that guards treasures or sacred spaces. One Greek story tells of Draco as the dragon that guarded the golden apples of the Hesperides, defeated by Hercules. The stars of Draco coil across the northern sky, urging you to protect your own treasures. be they physical, emotional, or spiritual. Transitioning to another guardian, let us consider the constellation Aries, the ram. Aries is linked to the golden fleece, a symbol of authority and kingship. The fleece was sought by Jason and the Argonauts in a legendary adventure. Aries inspires thoughts of valor and the pursuit of one's ambitions, encouraging you to chase after your own golden aspirations, no matter how daunting the journey may seem. This reminds me of Taurus, the bull, another powerful symbol in the night sky. Taurus is associated with the story of Europa, whom Zeus transformed into a bull to woo. Europa's tale is one of transformation and wonder, suggesting that sometimes the most unexpected changes can lead us to new, fruitful paths. As you observe Taurus, consider how embracing change can reveal unexpected opportunities. Speaking of transformations, have you heard about the constellation Sagittarius, the archer? Sagittarius is often represented by a centaur, half human and half horse, aiming his arrow toward the center of the Milky Way. This constellation is linked to Chiron, the wise and kind centaur who taught many heroes. Sagittarius embodies the quest for knowledge and adventure, urging you to aim high and pursue your personal quests with wisdom and determination. And here's something intriguing about the constellation Capricornus, the sea goat. In mythology, Capricornus is associated with Pan, who transformed himself into a goatfish to escape the monster Typhon. This blend of goat and fish symbolizes resilience and adaptability, encouraging you to balance earthly ambitions with emotional depth. As Capricornus sails across the sky, it invites you to find harmony between your practical goals and your deeper dreams. Have you ever wondered about the constellation Aquila, the eagle? Aquila is linked to Zeus's faithful eagle, which carried his thunderbolts and served as his messenger. This celestial eagle captures the essence of strength and loyalty, inspiring you to be steadfast in your commitments and to soar with clarity and purpose above life's challenges. Now, let's take a moment to reflect on the constellation Libra, the scales. Libra symbolizes balance and justice, often associated with Themis, the goddess of divine law and order. This constellation invites you to weigh your actions and decisions carefully, seeking fairness and harmony in all aspects of life. Imagine the soothing balance Libra offers, guiding you to a peaceful and equitable existence. Consider the constellation Scorpio, the scorpion. Scorpio is tied to the tail of Orion the hunter, who was killed by a scorpion sent by Gaia. This dramatic myth underscores themes of mortality and transformation. Scorpio's presence in the sky is a reminder of the cyclical nature of life and rebirth, urging you to embrace endings as preludes to new beginnings. And finally, let's not overlook the constellation Ophiuchus, the serpent bearer. While not commonly recognized as part of the zodiac, Ophiuchus represents Asclepius, the healer who learned the secrets of immortality from a serpent. This constellation embodies healing and renewal, prompting you to seek out growth and transformation in your life. Envision the healing power of Ophiuchus as it weaves its way through the cosmos, offering comfort and restoration. As these celestial tales weave together, imagine the night sky as a vast canvas of stories and lessons, each star a beacon of wisdom waiting to be discovered. Let these myths and constellations soothe your thoughts and inspire your dreams, guiding you gently into a realm of peaceful slumber and celestial wonder. Let me share something enchanting about the constellation Orion, which is perhaps one of the most recognizable patterns in the night sky. Did you know that in Greek mythology, Orion was a mighty hunter, so proud of his skill that he boasted he could kill all the animals on Earth? This hubris led to his downfall, as Gaia, the earth goddess, sent a scorpion to stop him. Interestingly, both Orion and Scorpius the scorpion are placed in opposite parts of the sky, ensuring they never meet again. Can you imagine the cosmic dance as Scorpius rises while Orion sets, forever chasing but never catching each other? Here's a fascinating tidbit about the constellation Gemini, which represents the twins Castor and Pollux. In mythology, these twins were born from an egg laid by Leda after Zeus visited her in the form of a swan. Although they shared a mother, they had different fathers, making Castor mortal and Pollux immortal. When Castor was killed, Pollux pleaded with Zeus to allow them to share immortality, showcasing an unbreakable bond of brotherly love. The constellation Gemini shines to remind us of the enduring connections between loved ones, even beyond the realms of life and death. Have you ever wondered why the constellation Leo, the lion, is so prominent in the sky? In Greek mythology, Leo represents the Nemean lion, a fierce beast that terrorized the region of Nemea. Hercules, on his first labor, was tasked with defeating this lion, whose hide was impervious to weapons. Hercules eventually subdued it using his sheer strength, and its image was placed in the stars as a symbol of bravery and triumph over seemingly insurmountable challenges. As you gaze at Leo, let it inspire you to face your own challenges with courage and determination. Here's something delightful about the constellation Virgo, often associated with the goddess of harvest, Demeter, or her daughter Persephone. In Roman mythology, Virgo is linked to Astraea, the last immortal to live among humans during the Golden Age. As the world became more corrupt, she ascended to the heavens, becoming the constellation we see today. Virgo's presence in the sky is a reminder of purity and hope, urging us to strive for a world filled with justice and kindness. Speaking of goddesses, the constellation Cassiopeia holds an intriguing story. Cassiopeia, the queen of Ethiopia, boasted about her unrivaled beauty, claiming it surpassed even that of the sea nymphs, the Nereids. This arrogance angered the sea god Poseidon, who sent a sea monster to punish her kingdom. As a result, Cassiopeia was placed in the sky bound to her throne, forever revolving around the celestial pole, sometimes appearing upside down as a lesson in humility. Let her tale remind us to remain humble and gracious in our successes. Let me share an intriguing fact about the constellation Aquarius, known as the water bearer. In mythology, Aquarius is often associated with Ganymede, a beautiful youth whom Zeus transformed into an eagle and brought to Olympus to serve as the cupbearer of the gods. This act signifies divine favor and the elevation of a mortal to the realm of immortals. As Aquarius pours out his water, it symbolizes the flow of knowledge and sustenance, encouraging us to share our gifts generously with the world around us. And here's something you might find surprising about the constellation Pisces. It is linked to the story of Aphrodite and her son Eros, who transformed into fish to escape the monstrous typhon. Tying themselves together with a rope to avoid separation, they swam to safety, and Zeus honored their cleverness by placing them in the heavens. This story of transformation and unity suggests that even in times of danger, our bonds with others can guide us to safety and renewal. Turning our gaze to the constellation Corona Borealis, let me tell you about its charming myth. This constellation is associated with the princess Ariadne, who helped Theseus navigate the labyrinth and defeat the Minotaur. After being abandoned by Theseus, she was discovered by the god Dionysus, who gifted her a crown of stars on their wedding day. Corona Borealis, the northern crown, shines as a symbol of love found in the divine rewards of kindness and courage. Have you ever pondered the story behind the constellation Cygnus, the swan? One tale tells of Phaeton, son of the sun god Helios, who lost control of the sun chariot, causing destructive chaos. Phaeton's friend Cygnus dove repeatedly into the river to retrieve his body, and in recognition of his loyalty, Zeus transformed him into a swan. The constellation Cygnus is a tribute to unwavering friendship and the lengths we go to for those we care about. Here's an interesting perspective on the constellation Lyra, often associated with Orpheus, the legendary musician. Orpheus's music was so enchanting that it could charm all living things and even stones. After his tragic death, his lyre was placed in the sky by Zeus, ensuring its melodies would resonate eternally among the stars. Lyra invites us to contemplate the timeless power of music and art to heal and transform our lives. Consider the story of the constellation Ursa Major, the Great Bear. Known for its iconic shape resembling a ladle or plough, its mythological roots trace back to the nymph Callisto, a companion of Artemis. Transformed into a bear by the jealous goddess Hera, Callisto was placed in the sky by Zeus, where she eternally roams the heavens with her son, Arcus, as Ursa Minor the Little Bear. This tale reflects themes of transformation and the enduring bonds between mother and child. Lastly, think about the constellation Canis Major, known as the Great Dog, which is associated with Orion's faithful hunting companion. Its brightest star, Sirius, is considered the dog star and is the brightest in our night sky. In mythology, Canis Major represents Laelaps, a dog who was destined to always catch its prey, symbolizing the relentless pursuit of goals and the loyalty that drives us forward. As you look upon Canis Major, let it inspire you to follow your path with unwavering commitment and fidelity. In these celestial stories, we find wisdom and wonder, inviting us to dream and reflect under the vast tapestry of the night sky. Now, let us drift into the calming presence of the constellation Taurus, the bull. Did you know that Taurus is linked to Zeus, who transformed himself into a magnificent white bull to win the affection of Europa? She was so enchanted by the bull's gentle nature that she climbed upon its back, only for Zeus to whisk her away across the sea. As a tribute to the event, Zeus placed the bull among the stars, reminding us of the power of transformation in pursuit of love and desire. Speaking of celestial animals, let's turn our attention to Capricornus, the sea goat. In Greek mythology, Capricornus is associated with Pan, the goat-footed god of the wild, who leapt into the Nile to escape the monster Typhon. In his haste, he transformed into a creature with the body of a goat and the tail of a fish. This whimsical blend of land and sea elements invites us to embrace our duality and find harmony between different aspects of our identity. Have you ever considered the story behind the constellation Ophiuchus, often called the serpent bearer? Ophiuchus represents Asclepius, the ancient Greek god of medicine and healing. Legend has it that Asclepius learned the secrets of immortality from a serpent and was able to bring the dead back to life. His remarkable abilities led Zeus to place him in the sky, symbolizing the everlasting quest for knowledge. Turning to the constellation Sagittarius, it's fascinating to uncover its connection to the centaur Chiron. Unlike other centaurs, Chiron was known for his wisdom and kindness, acting as a mentor to many great heroes including Hercules and Achilles. When wounded by a stray arrow, Chiron chose to give up his immortality to end his suffering, and in honor of his sacrifice, Zeus placed him among the stars. Sagittarius encourages us to aim high and cherish the wisdom of those who guide us. Let's explore the constellation Draco, winding its way through the night sky. Draco is associated with Ladon, the dragon who guarded the golden apples of the Hesperides. In one version of the tale, Hercules was tasked with retrieving these apples as part of his labors. After Hercules completed this task, Hera placed Ladon among the stars as a tribute to the dragon's vigilance. This celestial serpent invites us to consider the value of perseverance and guarding what we hold dear. Now, let's journey to the constellation Scorpius, known for its distinctive scorpion shape. According to one legend, Scorpius was sent by the goddess Artemis to punish the mighty hunter Orion, who boasted he could hunt every creature on Earth. The scorpion's sting led to Orion's downfall, and both were memorialized in the sky. Interestingly, they are placed on opposite sides of the celestial sphere, suggesting a cosmic balance and the dance of light and shadow. As we move gently through the night sky, we come upon the constellation Perseus, named after the hero who saved Andromeda from a sea monster. With the help of divine gifts, including winged sandals and a reflective shield, Perseus defeated the Gorgon Medusa and used her head to turn the monster to stone. Placed among the stars, Perseus serves as a reminder of bravery, resourcefulness, and the triumph of good over evil. Thinking of Andromeda, have you heard the tale of her namesake constellation? After being saved by Perseus, Andromeda was placed in the sky by the gods, symbolizing her enduring beauty and the power of love to overcome adversity. Her story encourages us to believe in the transformative power of love and the possibility of redemption. The constellation Auriga, the charioteer, carries a unique story tied to the hero Erichthonius, a king of Athens. Known for his invention of the four-horse chariot, his innovative spirit led Zeus to place him among the stars. Auriga invites us to celebrate ingenuity and the pursuit of progress in our own lives. Have you ever wondered about the constellation Gemini, representing the twins Castor and Pollux? These inseparable brothers were so devoted to each other that when Castor was killed, Pollux pleaded with Zeus to let them share immortality. Zeus granted the wish, allowing them to alternate between heaven and the underworld, and memorialized their bond in the stars. Gemini teaches us about the deep connections we share with those we love and the lengths we go to preserve them. Let's not forget the constellation Pegasus, the winged horse born from the blood of Medusa. Pegasus carried thunderbolts for Zeus and served as a noble steed for heroes. When his days of heroism ended, he was placed in the sky, embodying the spirit of freedom and the boundless possibilities of imagination. Pegasus encourages us to soar beyond our limitations and explore uncharted realms of our creativity. As we journey further, consider the constellation of Cetus, the sea monster. Cetus is linked to the story of Andromeda and Perseus, representing the beast she was to be sacrificed to. Often depicted as a great whale or sea dragon, Cetus serves as a reminder of the challenges and fears that we might face, urging us to confront them with courage and determination. And lastly, let's ponder the constellation Lepus, the hare found beneath the feet of Orion. In mythology, Lepus was a swift creature that eluded the mighty hunter, earning its place among the stars. This small but agile constellation inspires us to value wit and agility, showing that even the smallest among us have their rightful place in the grand tapestry of life. As we softly weave these tales together, let them lull you into a serene state of wonder, where the stars themselves become storytellers, whispering age-old legends and inviting dreams of distant galaxies and ancient myths. Have you ever gazed upon the constellation Capricornus and wondered about its unusual shape? This constellation, resembling a sea-goat, is associated with the Greek god Pan. According to myth, Pan transformed himself into a creature with the front half of a goat and the back half of a fish to escape the monster Typhon. Zeus honored Pan's ingenuity by placing his figure among the stars. Isn't it fascinating how creativity and cleverness can lead to celestial recognition? Turning our attention to the constellation Aquila, there's an intriguing story behind its origin. Aquila represents the eagle that carried Zeus's thunderbolts. In some tales, this mighty bird was also responsible for carrying Ganymede, the beautiful youth chosen by the gods to become the cupbearer of Olympus. This celestial eagle invites us to consider the themes of service and the divine favor bestowed upon those who capture the gods' attention. Did you know the constellation Lyra holds a special place in both mythology and music? Lyra is associated with Orpheus, the legendary musician whose songs could charm all living things. After his tragic end, his lyre was placed in the sky, a tribute to the unending power of music to move hearts and souls. It's a gentle reminder of how art and expression transcend time and space. Shifting our gaze to the constellation Virgo, we find connections to several myths, each with its own intriguing insights. Virgo is often linked to Demeter, the goddess of the harvest, but some stories suggest she represents Astraea, an ancient Greek goddess of justice. During the Golden Age, Astraea lived among humans, but as humanity descended into chaos, she retreated to the heavens. Virgo reminds us of the purity and promise of a better world. Have you ever pondered the constellation Boötus, with its bright star Arcturus? Boötus is known as the herdsman, or ploughman in the sky. Some myths claim he is Arcus, the son of Callisto, who was transformed into a bear and placed as Ursa Major. Arcus himself was also placed in the sky to watch over his mother. This constellation prompts reflections on family bonds and the stories that connect us across generations. The constellation Canis Major is home to the brightest star in the night sky, Sirius, often called the dog star. In mythology, Canis Major is linked to Orion as one of his hunting dogs. Sirius was also revered by the ancient Egyptians, heralding the annual flooding of the Nile and signifying prosperity. This celestial companion underscores the idea of loyalty and the significance of natural phenomena in shaping human history. If you look to the constellation Hydra, you will find one of the longest constellations in the sky. Hydra is associated with the multi-headed serpent defeated by Hercules during his labors. This myth illustrates the theme of overcoming daunting challenges, with each new head growing back, teaching us resilience and the virtues of persistence. Consider the constellation Leo, associated with the Nemean lion, also vanquished by Hercules. The lion's impenetrable hide made it a formidable foe, but Hercules triumphed using his wits and strength. In the stars, Leo symbolizes courage and the triumph of willpower over seemingly insurmountable obstacles. The constellation Aries carries its own mythological significance. Representing the ram with the golden fleece, Aries is tied to the story of Jason and the Argonauts. This fleece was a symbol of authority and kingship, and its pursuit speaks to the human drive for adventure and the quest for glory. Aries encourages us to seek our own treasures and embrace the journeys that define us. Now, let's explore the constellation Pisces, the two fish entwined in a celestial dance. Pisces is connected to the myth of Aphrodite and Eros, who transformed into fish to escape the giant Typhon. Tied together by a cord, they navigated the waters in harmony. Pisces inspires thoughts of unity and the strength found in companionship during times of adversity. Shining brightly in the constellation Taurus is the star Aldebaran, known as the Eye of the Bull. Taurus is linked to the story of Zeus transforming into a bull to win the affections of Europa. This divine bull reminds us of the themes of transformation and desire, illustrating how love can lead us into unexpected and wonderful journeys. Have you marveled at the constellation Corona Borealis, the Northern Crown? This constellation represents the crown given to Ariadne by Dionysus as a token of love. After their wedding, he placed it in the sky as a symbol of enduring commitment. Corona Borealis invites us to cherish the gifts of love and honor the bonds that unite us. Reflecting on the constellation Hercules, which symbolizes the great hero himself, we are reminded of his legendary strength and perseverance through 12 arduous labors. Each task Hercules faced serves as a testament to the human spirit's capacity to overcome hardship and emerge victorious, even against the odds. Lastly, let's turn to the constellation Andromeda, which we mentioned earlier. It's intriguing to note that this constellation is also home to the Andromeda Galaxy, our closest large galactic neighbor. This link between mythology and the universe invites us to ponder our place within the cosmos and the stories that echo through the stars. As you drift into the realm of dreams, let these celestial tales illuminate your imagination, guiding your thoughts through starlit corridors filled with wonder and endless possibilities. Did you know that the constellation Gemini, representing the twins Castor and Pollux, is a story of brotherly love and sacrifice? According to mythology, Castor was mortal, while Pollux was immortal. When Castor died in battle, Pollux begged Zeus to let him share his immortality with his brother. Moved by this act of love, Zeus placed them both in the sky, forever side by side. This tale reminds us of the bonds that transcend mortality and the lengths to which we go for those we cherish. Speaking of celestial siblings, let me share something interesting about the constellation Libra. Unlike many constellations rooted in creatures or heroes, Libra is unique as it represents the scales of justice. This connection is not only to Astraea, who we mentioned earlier, but also to Dike, the goddess of moral justice. The symbolism of Libra as the balance between day and night during the equinoxes invites contemplation about equilibrium in our own lives. And here's a fascinating tidbit about the constellation Scorpius. In the realm of myths, Scorpius is the scorpion sent to kill Orion. As the story goes, after Orion's demise, the gods placed both Orion and the scorpion in the sky, forever chasing each other. Interestingly, when Scorpius rises in the sky, Orion sets, symbolizing their eternal pursuit. This celestial dance serves as a reminder of the cycles in nature and life. Have you ever wondered about the constellation Capricornus and its intriguing form? Representing a sea goat, Capricornus is linked to Pan, the god of the wild, who transformed himself into this unusual creature to escape the giant Typhon. The constellation embodies adaptability and the ability to navigate both land and sea, perhaps encouraging us to embrace our own dual natures and diverse talents. Consider the constellation Sagittarius, often depicted as a centaur archer aiming his bow. Sagittarius is associated with Chiron, the wise and gentle centaur known for his knowledge of healing and prophecy. Unlike the wild centaurs, Chiron was a mentor to heroes like Achilles and Hercules. This connection to wisdom and guidance reminds us of the power of mentorship and learning from those who guide us along life's journey. Moving to the constellation Aquarius, we find another story of divine favor and service. Aquarius is often linked to Ganymede, the beautiful youth carried by the eagle Aquila to serve as cupbearer to the gods. This narrative might inspire thoughts about the roles we play in service to others and the honor found in humble tasks, a theme that echoes the humility of working for a greater purpose. Did you know that the constellation Pavo, representing the peacock, holds a tale of transformation? According to mythology, the peacock was a creation of Hera, who adorned it with the eyes of Argus, her 100-eyed servant. After Argus was slain, Hera mourned his loss and placed his eyes on the peacock's feathers. This myth reflects themes of transformation and remembrance, reminding us that beauty can emerge from sorrow. Let's also explore the constellation Crux, the Southern Cross, a symbol of navigation and guidance. While not visible to all, Crux has been a beacon for travelers in the Southern Hemisphere, guiding sailors and explorers through uncharted waters. This constellation symbolizes hope and direction in times of uncertainty, much like the guiding lights we seek in our own personal journeys. And have you ever considered the constellation Cetus, the whale or sea monster, and its role in myth? Cetus is linked to the story of Andromeda, who was to be sacrificed to the beast before being saved by Perseus. This tale of rescue and transformation into a celestial being reflects the themes of overcoming fear and the heroism found in unexpected places. Speaking of transformation, the constellation Phoenix is a beautiful symbol of rebirth and renewal. In ancient mythologies, the phoenix is a bird that cyclically regenerates, rising from its ashes to live anew. This symbolism of immortality and renewal resonates deeply, encouraging us to embrace change and the potential for new beginnings. Have you ever looked up at the constellation Pegasus and wondered about its origin? Pegasus, the winged horse, emerged from the blood of Medusa after she was slain by Perseus. Known for its speed and beauty, Pegasus became a symbol of inspiration and the creative spirit. This mythological creature invites us to soar to new heights, embracing the boundless potential of our imaginations. And here's something fascinating about the constellation Draco, the dragon. In one of its mythological tales, Draco represents Ladon, the serpent-like dragon that guarded the golden apples in the Garden of the Hesperides. Hercules defeated Ladon during his labors, and the dragon was placed among the stars, curling around the celestial North Pole. Draco's presence reminds us of guardianship and the treasures we protect, both tangible and intangible. Turning our attention to the constellation Ophiuchus, known as the Serpent Bearer, we find a lesser-known story of Asclepius, the healer. Asclepius was a mortal who learned the secrets of immortality, which led Zeus to place him among the stars to prevent humans from becoming immortal. This story highlights the balance between knowledge and the natural order, urging us to respect the limits and responsibilities that come with wisdom. Finally, let us consider the constellation Cassiopeia, with its distinctive W shape representing the Queen of Ethiopia in Greek mythology. Cassiopeia's vanity famously led to her being placed in the sky, where she is said to be constantly spinning around the North Celestial Pole as punishment. Her story echoes the theme of humility, reminding us of the lessons learned from pride and the gentle reminder to remain grounded. As you reflect on these celestial stories and their timeless lessons, may you find a sense of wonder and peace, inspired by the stars that have guided humanity for millennia. Let these constellations spark your imagination as you drift softly into a world of dreams, where the universe unfolds its mysteries in the quiet of the night. In the vast tapestry of the night sky, every star and constellation holds a story waiting to be discovered. Let me share something fascinating about the constellation Lyra, often associated with Orpheus, the legendary musician. It's said that when Orpheus played his lyre, the wild animals would gather to listen, enchanted by the music. Upon his death, Zeus placed his lyre among the stars as a tribute to his artistry. The constellation Lyra invites us to consider the power of music and its ability to connect us across the ages. Speaking of musical wonders, have you ever pondered the constellation Cygnus, the swan, with its graceful form? In one version of its story, Cygnus represents Zeus, who transformed into a swan. This celestial swan also appears in tales involving the musician Orpheus, further entwining music with the stars. As you gaze at Cygnus, perhaps you'll be reminded of the elegance and grace in our own lives, and the ways we can transform through creativity. And here's something interesting about the constellation Canis Major, which houses Sirius, the brightest star in the night sky. Known as the dog star, Sirius has been associated with various dogs in mythology, including Laelaps, the magical hound destined always to catch its prey. Canis Major, alongside its counterpart Canis Minor, reflects the loyal companionship and unwavering pursuit inherent in our own bonds and quests. Let's turn our attention to the constellation Aries. This constellation is linked to the story of the Golden Fleece, sought by Jason and the Argonauts. Aries symbolizes the spirit of adventure and the courage to embark on new journeys, encouraging us to seek out our own paths and treasures, no matter how daunting they might seem. Have you ever noticed the constellation Taurus and pondered its connection to the mighty bull? In Greek mythology, Taurus is often associated with the story of Europa, who was seduced by Zeus in the form of a bull. This tale of transformation and allure invites us to consider the unexpected paths that life can take and the hidden strength within. Turning to Perseus, a constellation that tells a tale of heroism and triumph, we find the story of Perseus himself, who slew Medusa and rescued Andromeda. The star Algol within Perseus, sometimes called the demon star, represents Medusa's eye and is famous for its variable brightness, echoing the themes of challenge and victory, and the illumination that emerges from the shadows. Did you know the constellation Corona Borealis is linked to the crown of Ariadne given to her by Dionysus? This crown was placed among the stars as a symbol of love and celebration. As you look upon it, perhaps it will remind you of the joyous celebrations and connections that light up our own lives, much like the stars that illuminate the night. Moving on to the constellation Leo, the lion, we encounter a tale of strength and regality. Leo is connected to the Nemean lion, a beast slain by Hercules during his labors. This fierce creature was placed in the stars as a testament to its power, symbolizing the courage and resilience we all possess to face and overcome life's challenges. Consider the constellation Virgo, often associated with Demeter and her daughter Persephone. This myth is a poignant reminder of the cycles of life and nature, as Persephone's descent into the underworld heralds the changing seasons. Virgo embodies themes of harvest and renewal, encouraging us to find balance and harmony within the rhythms of our own lives. Here's an intriguing fact about the constellation Ursa Major, known for the Big Dipper asterism. In many cultures, it is seen as a great bear, linked to the story of Callisto, turned into a bear by Hera. This transformation and eternal presence in the sky reflect the themes of protection and constancy, guiding travelers and dreamers alike. Then there's the constellation Gemini, representing the twins Castor and Pollux. These brothers were placed among the stars to honor their bond, as they were inseparable even in death. The constellation stands as a testament to the enduring connections we form with those we hold dear, reminding us of the strength found in unity. Have you ever considered the constellation Hercules, named after the hero himself? Hercules is positioned near Draco the dragon and other symbols of his legendary labors. This celestial tribute inspires thoughts of perseverance and the rewards of hard work, as even the stars celebrate his trials and triumphs. And lastly, let's explore the constellation Libra, symbolized by the scales of balance and justice. This constellation has ancient connections to the goddess Themis and represents the equilibrium in nature and society. As a symbol of fairness and harmony, Libra invites us to consider the balance in our own lives and the pursuit of truth and equality. As these celestial stories whisper through the night, they remind us of the timeless connections between the heavens and our own lives. With each constellation, we find wisdom, inspiration, and a gentle nudge to explore the universe within and beyond. May these tales guide you softly into a world of dreams where the mysteries of the cosmos unfold in the quiet moments before sleep. Let's delve deeper into the stars with the constellation Orion, one of the most recognizable patterns in the night sky. Orion, the mighty hunter, is often depicted with his faithful dogs, Canis Major and Canis Minor, in pursuit of the celestial prey. Did you know that Orion's belt, those 3 bright stars in a row, has been a source of fascination and wonder across different cultures? In ancient Egypt, these stars were thought to align with the pyramids of Giza, serving as a celestial point of reference, a connection that forever ties the skies above to the earth below. And speaking of Egyptian mythology, the constellation Scorpius has an intriguing tale of its own. This constellation is said to represent the scorpion that stung Orion, leading to his demise. As the story goes, Orion and Scorpius were placed at opposite ends of the sky so they would never meet again, a cosmic game of hide and seek that persists each night. This celestial dance serves as a reminder of life's eternal cycles and the delicate balance of nature. Now, let's take a closer look at the constellation Aquarius, the water bearer. This constellation is linked to the story of Ganymede, a beautiful youth in Greek mythology who was whisked away by Zeus to serve as the cupbearer to the gods. The constellation Aquarius symbolizes the pouring of water, or life-giving energy, encouraging us to reflect on the essence of nourishment and the flow of life. Another fascinating connection can be found in the constellation Capricornus, the sea goat. Have you ever wondered why this creature has both the body of a goat and a fish's tail? In mythology, Capricornus is associated with the god Pan, who transformed into a sea goat to escape the monster Typhon. This hybrid form reminds us of adaptability and the resilience needed to navigate changing tides in our own lives. And here's something surprising about the constellation Sagittarius. It represents a centaur named Chiron, known for his wisdom and healing abilities. Unlike other centaurs who were often wild and unruly, Chiron was revered as a teacher and mentor to many heroes. The constellation Sagittarius encourages us to pursue knowledge and wisdom, aiming our arrows towards higher understanding and growth. Speaking of centaurs, the constellation Centaurus is another intriguing formation that has captured the imagination of many. This constellation is home to the closest star system to Earth, Alpha Centauri, inviting us to ponder the possibilities of life beyond our planet. The stories of these mythical creatures remind us of the duality within ourselves, both wild and wise, and the harmony we seek between the two. Turning our gaze to the constellation Draco, the dragon, we find tales of guardian dragons that protect treasures and sacred places. In mythology, Draco represents Ladon, the dragon who guarded the golden apples in the garden of the Hesperides. This formidable creature symbolizes vigilance and the strength required to protect what we hold dear. As we continue our celestial journey, let's consider the constellation Ophiuchus, the serpent bearer. Ophiuchus is associated with Asclepius, the healer, who learned the secrets of immortality. This constellation is often linked to themes of renewal and transformation, inviting us to explore the mysteries of healing and the power of rebirth in our own lives. And have you ever pondered the constellation Pegasus, the winged horse? Born from the blood of Medusa, Pegasus embodies the spirit of freedom and inspiration. This constellation encourages us to soar above challenges and embrace the creative energy within us, much like the poets and dreamers who have looked to Pegasus for inspiration throughout history. Another captivating constellation is Andromeda, named after the princess who was saved by Perseus. Did you know that the Andromeda Galaxy, the nearest spiral galaxy to our own, is located within this constellation? This cosmic neighbor offers a glimpse into the vastness of the universe and the interconnectedness of all things. As we drift among the stars, let's explore the constellation Cassiopeia, representing the vain queen who boasted of her unrivaled beauty. As punishment, she was placed in the sky, forever circling the North Star. This tale serves as a reminder of humility and the importance of balance between pride and integrity. And here's an intriguing fact about the constellation Lyra, which we visited earlier. It contains a star known as Vega, part of the Summer Triangle asterism. Vega has been a point of fascination and navigation for centuries, guiding explorers across oceans and through time. This star's brilliance reflects the guiding light within each of us, leading us toward new horizons. In the constellation Auriga the Charioteer, we find tales of heroes who tamed wild horses and mastered the art of driving the celestial chariot. This constellation is often associated with Erichthonius, the legendary inventor of the four-horse chariot. It symbolizes innovation and the courage to take the reins of our destiny. Finally, let's not forget the constellation Bootes, the herdsman. Bootes is said to represent Arcus, the son of Callisto, who was transformed into a bear along with his mother. This constellation is a testament to the bond between nature and nurture, encouraging us to embrace the roles we play in the care and stewardship of our world. Each of these constellations tells a story, weaving together the threads of myth and starlight, reminding us of our place in the cosmos. May these tales of the stars inspire you to dream and explore the vast universe within and around you as you drift gently into a peaceful slumber. Let me share something fascinating about the constellation Cetus. Known as the sea monster in Greek mythology, Cetus was sent by Poseidon to devour Andromeda. However, this fearsome beast symbolizes not only the challenges we face, but also the courage it takes to overcome them. Did you know that Cetus is home to a star called Mira, which was one of the first variable stars ever discovered? Mira's fluctuations remind us that even in the vast darkness, there is rhythm and change, echoing the ebb and flow of our own lives. And here's something intriguing. The constellation Vela was once part of a larger constellation called Argo Navis, which represented the ship of Jason and the Argonauts. Vela specifically symbolizes the sails of the ship, capturing the spirit of adventure and the winds of change that propel us forward. This reminds us that even the smallest parts of a grand journey can hold significant meaning. Now, Shifting our gaze to the southern skies, we find the constellation Crux, also known as the Southern Cross. This small yet prominent group of stars has guided navigators for centuries, serving as a celestial compass in the southern hemisphere. Can you imagine the wonder of the sailors, who, guided by these stars, discovered new worlds and expanded the boundaries of our understanding? The constellation Lepus, the Hare, is another captivating formation. Positioned just beneath Orion, Lepus is often depicted as being hunted by the Great Hunter. This constellation invites us to consider the themes of survival and the delicate balance of predator and prey, reminding us of the natural cycles that govern our world. Speaking of hunting, the constellation Canis Major is known as the Great Dog and is said to be one of Orion's hunting companions. It is home to Sirius, the brightest star in the night sky. Sirius has been revered across cultures as a harbinger of abundance and change. Observing Sirius twinkling brightly can stir a deep sense of connection to the vast cosmos. Let's delve into the constellation Hydra, the water serpent, which stretches languidly across the sky. This constellation is associated with the multi-headed serpent slain by Hercules in his 12 labors. Hydra's presence in the heavens serves as a reminder of resilience and the ongoing battle against our own inner challenges. And have you heard about the constellation Eridanus, the celestial river? It flows sinuously across the sky, representing the river into which Phaethon fell after losing control of his father Helios's sun chariot. This story speaks to the perils of hubris and the importance of understanding our limits, encouraging us to navigate life's turbulent waters with wisdom and care. The constellation Corvus, the crow, carries with it a tale of transformation and redemption. In mythology, the crow was once a white bird tasked with delivering a message for Apollo. However, when it failed in its mission, it was turned black as a reminder of its transgressions. This story illustrates the power of change and the possibility of redemption, no matter our past. Speaking of birds, the constellation Cygnus, the swan, glides gracefully across the night sky. In mythology, it is associated with several stories, including Zeus transforming into a swan. This constellation invites us to contemplate beauty, metamorphosis, and the many forms love can take. Another interesting constellation is Canis Minor, the lesser dog, which accompanies Canis Major. Though small, it contains Procyon, one of the brightest stars in the sky. This pairing of constellations reminds us that even the seemingly small or insignificant can shine brightly and play an essential role in the grand tapestry of the universe. Reflecting on constellations with mythological significance, we find the constellation Corona Borealis, the Northern Crown. This delicate arc of stars represents the crown given by Dionysus to Ariadne. It symbolizes triumph and the rewards of loyalty and love, reminding us that our efforts can lead to beautiful outcomes. Finally, consider the mysterious constellation Serpens, the serpent. Unlike most constellations, Serpens is divided into two parts, Serpens Caput and Serpens Cauda, representing the head and tail of the serpent held by Ophiuchus. This unusual arrangement encourages us to think about duality and unity, the balance of opposites, and the importance of seeing the whole picture. Each constellation carries a story, a lesson, and a glimpse into the mysteries of the cosmos. As we explore these celestial wonders, they invite us to reflect on our own lives, to dream, and to find inspiration in the night sky. Let the stories of the stars gently guide you into a peaceful sleep filled with dreams of distant galaxies and ancient myths. Did you know that the constellation Cassiopeia, named after the vain queen of Greek mythology, forms a distinctive W shape in the northern sky. This iconic pattern makes it one of the most recognizable constellations. But here's the twist. Cassiopeia was placed in the heavens as punishment for boasting about her beauty, forever revolving around the celestial pole, sometimes appearing to be upside down. It's a gentle reminder of the perils of pride and the humbling nature of the universe. Speaking of recognizable shapes, the constellation Orion is perhaps one of the most famous, with its three-starred belt. But did you know that Orion has a special connection to many cultures around the world? In Egyptian mythology, Orion was associated with Osiris, the god of the afterlife, while the Maori people of New Zealand see it as a great canoe. This constellation serves as a bridge, linking diverse cultures and beliefs through the shared language of the stars. Turning our attention to the constellation Gemini, you might already know it's associated with the twins Castor and Pollux from Greek mythology. What's interesting is that Castor and Pollux are not just mythological figures, they are also represented by two bright stars within the constellation. This celestial sibling pair symbolizes the bond of brotherhood and the idea that even after death, their connection remains immortalized in the night sky. Have you ever heard of the constellation Draco the dragon? In mythology, Draco is linked to the dragon Ladon, who guarded the golden apples in the Garden of the Hesperides. This constellation coils around the North Star, and its elongated form suggests a sense of timeless vigilance, echoing the ancient tales of dragons safeguarding their treasures. The story of Draco invites us to consider the guardianship roles we play in our own lives. Now, let's explore the constellation Pisces, which is associated with the story of Aphrodite and Eros transforming into fish to escape the monstrous typhon. This transformation and the resulting constellation remind us of adaptability and the ability to find creative solutions in times of peril. The two fish, tied together with a cord, symbolize unity and the interconnectedness of all things, even in the face of adversity. An intriguing constellation with a fascinating story is Pegasus, the winged horse. In mythology, Pegasus sprang from the blood of the Gorgon Medusa after she was slain by Perseus. This constellation embodies the idea of transformation and liberation, suggesting that even from difficult situations, something beautiful and free can emerge. The tale of Pegasus inspires us to look for the silver linings and unexpected gifts life may offer. The constellation Libra, known as the Scales, holds a unique place among the zodiac. Unlike most constellations, Libra is not directly linked to a mythological character, but instead represents balance and justice. This celestial symbol invites contemplation on the harmony and equilibrium we strive for in our lives, reminding us of the importance of fairness and impartiality. A lesser-known yet captivating constellation is Lyra, which represents Orpheus's lyre in Greek mythology. After Orpheus's tragic death, Zeus placed his lyre among the stars in honor of his musical talent. This constellation serves as a testament to the enduring power of art and music, suggesting that creativity and beauty have the power to transcend even the boundaries of life and death. The constellation Auriga, the charioteer, has a curious backstory linked to Hephaestus, the god of fire and craftsmanship. According to myth, Hephaestus created a magical chariot for Auriga, who was sometimes depicted as the hero Erichthonius. This celestial formation reflects the innovative spirit and the ability to overcome challenges through ingenuity and skill. The constellation Perseus offers another layer of mythological intrigue. Known for his heroic exploits, Perseus is most famous for slaying Medusa. Lesser known is the detail that, upon his return, he used Medusa's head to turn the sea monster Cetus to stone, saving Andromeda. This tale is woven into the fabric of the stars, suggesting the powerful combination of bravery and resourcefulness needed to conquer our fears. A striking constellation with deep mythological roots is Sagittarius, the centaur archer. In Greek mythology, it is associated with the centaur Chiron, known for his wisdom and healing abilities. What makes Sagittarius special is the juxtaposition of the wild and untamed with the scholarly and wise, urging us to embrace both our primal instincts and our higher knowledge. In the constellation Aquarius, we find traces of the divine cupbearer Ganymede, who was taken to Olympus by Zeus to serve the gods. This story reflects themes of ascension and the bridging of mortal and divine realms. Aquarius is seen pouring water from a vase, symbolizing the flow of knowledge and the nourishment of life, encouraging us to seek enlightenment and share wisdom generously. The constellation Capricornus brings our attention to the whimsical tale of the goatfish, associated with the god Pan. When Pan leapt into the sea to escape the monster Typhon, he transformed into a creature with the front half of a goat and the tail of a fish. Capricornus symbolizes the duality of nature and the blending of elements, prompting us to explore the multifaceted aspects of our identities. Lastly, let us consider the constellation Virgo, often linked to Demeter, the goddess of harvest and agriculture. This celestial maiden is associated with themes of fertility, growth, and the cycles of nature. As Virgo appears in the night sky, it signifies the changing seasons and the renewal of life, reminding us of the deep connections between the cosmos and the natural world. Each of these constellations, with their rich tapestry of stories, beckons us to look beyond the stars themselves and into the wisdom they impart. As we ponder these ancient myths, they gently guide us into a space of reflection and wonder, inviting us to dream and discover, both in the heavens above and within our own hearts. May these tales of the night sky cradle you in a soothing embrace as you drift peacefully into a restful sleep. Did you know that the constellation Cygnus, often referred to as the Northern Cross, shares a connection with the myth of Zeus transforming into a swan? This transformation is part of the tale of Leda, whom Zeus approached in this graceful form. It's fascinating to think about how the graceful lines of Cygnus capture the elegance of a swan in flight, inviting us to explore the themes of transformation and disguise in our own lives. Here's something intriguing. The constellation Scorpius, with its characteristic curve resembling a scorpion's tail, is linked to the story of Orion, the great hunter. According to legend, Orion boasted that he could hunt all the creatures of the earth, prompting Gaia to send the scorpion to challenge him. This celestial rivalry is eternally played out in the sky, as Orion and Scorpius are never seen above the horizon at the same time. It serves as a reminder of the balance and checks that nature imposes. Have you ever wondered about the constellation Ophiuchus? This serpentine figure is said to represent Asclepius, the healer, who learned the secrets of immortality from a serpent. Zeus placed him among the stars to honor his contributions to medicine. The imagery of Ophiuchus entwined with a serpent symbolizes the dual nature of healing and poison, a concept echoed in modern medicine's emblematic rod of Asclepius. Now, let me share a surprising fact about the constellation Bootes, known as the herdsman. Bootes is associated with Arcus, the son of Zeus and Callisto. According to myth, Zeus placed Arcus in the sky to protect him from harm, forming a celestial guardian for the bear-shaped constellation Ursa Major. This tale reminds us of the ancient practice of using stars as guides and protectors in the night. The constellation Cassiopeia, with its distinctive W shape, carries a story of vanity and consequence. Named after Queen Cassiopeia, who boasted of her beauty, this constellation is said to represent her bound in a chair as punishment, forced to circle the celestial pole upside down for eternity. It's a vivid reminder of the age-old warning against hubris and the importance of humility. Speaking of constellations with a twist, did you know that the constellation Andromeda is tied to a tale of sacrifice and rescue? Andromeda, the daughter of Cassiopeia, was chained to a rock as an offering to a sea monster. Her salvation came in the form of Perseus, who rescued her with the help of Medusa's head. The stars of Andromeda shine as a testament to the themes of courage and redemption. Here's an unusual fact about the constellation Canis Major, known as the Greater Dog. It contains Sirius, the brightest star in the night sky, often called the Dog Star. In mythology, Canis Major is associated with Laelaps, a dog destined to always catch its prey. This echoes the relentless pursuit of goals, urging us to chase our dreams with unwavering tenacity. Let's explore the constellation Aries, which is linked to the story of the Golden Fleece. Aries represents the ram whose fleece was sought by Jason and the Argonauts. The constellations offer a celestial map of their legendary adventures, emphasizing the themes of bravery and the quest for knowledge. Each time you see Aries in the sky, it serves as a reminder of the importance of embarking on journeys with courage and curiosity. Have you noticed the constellation Gemini, with the twin stars Castor and Pollux? These figures hold a special place in mythology, as the Dioscuri, whose bond was so profound that when Castor died, Pollux pleaded with Zeus to share his immortality. As a result, they were immortalized in the stars, a testament to the enduring bond of friendship and the sacrifices we make for those we love. An interesting tidbit about the constellation Leo: it's often associated with the Nemean lion, a creature with an impenetrable hide that was ultimately defeated by Hercules as one of his 12 labors. The constellation captures Leo's majestic and formidable presence, reminding us of the strength and resilience we each hold within. Lastly, consider the constellation Ursa Minor, home to Polaris, the North Star. Ursa Minor represents Arcus, transformed into a bear by Zeus to protect him from his mother Callisto, who had also been turned into a bear. This transformation reflects themes of protection and the guidance offered by the stars, as Polaris has long served as a navigational beacon. Each of these constellations weaves its own unique story, rich with mythological significance and cultural heritage. As the stars twinkle above, they invite you to reflect on these timeless tales, urging you to find the connections between the cosmic and the personal. May these celestial narratives lull you into a gentle slumber, where dreams fill the night with endless wonder and discovery. Let me guide you gently into the twilight of our tale with a constellation that many find captivating: Draco, the dragon. Did you know Draco is believed to represent the dragon Ladon, who guarded the golden apples of the Hesperides? These apples were gifts to Hera, and the dragon's eternal watchfulness is immortalized in the winding constellation that wraps protectively around the celestial north. Imagine the vigilance and dedication it takes to guard something so precious. This leads me to the constellation Centaurus, often overlooked but brimming with mythological richness. Centaurus is said to represent Chiron, the wise centaur, who was a teacher to many Greek heroes like Achilles and Asclepius. Unlike other centaurs known for their wildness, Chiron's wisdom and kindness made him a unique figure among them. His presence in the sky reminds us of the value of knowledge and mentorship. Speaking of knowledge, the constellation Lyra holds a melodic history. It's associated with the lyre of Orpheus, whose music was so enchanting that it could charm all living things and even stones. Orpheus's lyre was placed in the sky by Zeus to honor its unparalleled beauty and the artistry it embodies. Lyra's stars seem to whisper the harmonies of the universe, inviting you to listen closely to the silent music of the night. And here's a delightful fact about the constellation Virgo. It is often connected to Astraea, the last immortal to leave Earth at the end of the Golden Age. Astraea, the goddess of justice, innocence, and purity, became disenchanted with humanity's corruption and ascended to the heavens, symbolizing hope for a return to virtue. Virgo's presence in the sky may inspire you to hold steadfast to principles of fairness and righteousness. Let me share something about the constellation Aquila, the eagle. In mythology, Aquila was the bird of Zeus, often serving as his messenger. One tale tells of how Aquila carried the thunderbolts of Zeus, embodying power and strength. The eagle's soaring form across the night sky may inspire you to reach for the heights of your own ambitions. The constellation Capricornus, with its unusual depiction of a sea-goat, offers a curious mythological story. It represents the goat Amalthea, who cared for the infant Zeus. As a token of gratitude, Zeus placed her in the sky. The hybrid nature of Capricornus reminds us of our own multifaceted identities, blending strengths and vulnerabilities. Let's drift over to the constellation Sagittarius, the archer tied to the centaur Chiron like Centaurus. Sagittariuses are celebrated as seekers of truth and adventure, reflecting the blend of human curiosity and the wild, untamed spirit of the horse. The archer's arrow points toward Antares, one of the brightest stars, prompting thoughts of aiming high and pursuing your goals with clarity and purpose. Did you ever wonder about the constellation Pegasus, the winged horse? Linked to tales of inspiration and heroism, Pegasus sprang from the neck of Medusa when she was slain by Perseus. This majestic creature symbolizes poetic inspiration and the soaring heights of imagination. When you gaze upon Pegasus, let it remind you of the power of creativity to transcend the mundane. Consider the constellation Hercules, named after the legendary hero renowned for his strength and courage. Hercules is positioned in the sky as if performing one of his great labors, a testament to the trials and triumphs that define his stories. It's a celestial nod to the perseverance needed to overcome the challenges you may face. In the eastern sky, the constellation Aquarius pours the waters of the heavens. Aquarius is linked to Ganymede, a beautiful youth carried to Olympus to serve as cupbearer to the gods. This story of elevation from mortals to divine service reminds us of the potential for greatness within each of us. Turning our gaze toward the constellation Lyra, we find another lovely fact. Did you know that Vega, Lyra's brightest star, was once considered the North Star approximately 14,000 years ago? The slow wobble of the Earth's axis, called precession, changes our celestial perspective over millennia, offering a cosmic reminder of the ever-changing nature of life. Here's something to ponder. The constellation Pisces, often depicted as two fish, is associated with the myth of Aphrodite and Eros transforming into fish to escape the monster Typhon. Tied together by a rope, they swam to safety, illustrating themes of unity and cooperation. As you see their stars, think of the bonds that strengthen and support us through turbulent times. Lastly, The constellation Libra, with its balance scales, represents the concept of equilibrium and justice. Libra's scales are said to stem from the scales wielded by Astrea, emphasizing the importance of balance in all facets of life. As you consider Libra's stars, let them be a gentle reminder to seek harmony within yourself and in your world. As the night unfolds, may these tales of constellations and mythologies guide you across the starry expanse. The stories etched in the heavens offer wisdom and wonder, inviting you to drift into dreams filled with cosmic adventures. Let the stars be your companions, softly illuminating your path to a peaceful and reflective slumber. Can you imagine a sky without the familiar patterns we call constellations? These star formations, steeped in myths and legends, have guided humans for millennia. Take the constellation Orion, for instance. Did you know that Orion's belt is not just a guide to finding the constellation, but also a key to other celestial wonders? By following the line of these three stars, you can locate Sirius, the brightest star in the night sky, as well as the Pleiades star cluster. It's like having a cosmic map right above your head. Speaking of the Pleiades, here's something intriguing. In Greek mythology, these stars represent the 7 daughters of Atlas and Pleione. Yet, have you ever noticed that only 6 stars are typically visible to the naked eye? Various cultures have stories explaining the missing 7th sister, each tale offering a different reason for her disappearance. This puzzling enigma is a beautiful reminder of how the heavens hold secrets beyond our sight. Let's drift over to the constellation Draco, the dragon that coils around the North Star. Draco's mythological roots trace back to the dragon Ladon, who guarded the golden apples in the Garden of the Hesperides. It's fascinating to think about how this celestial dragon continues to watch over our pole star, echoing its ancient role. And here's a fact about Canis Major, the great dog. This constellation is home to Sirius, known as the dog star. Ancient Egyptians associated Sirius with the goddess Isis, and its rising heralded the flooding of the Nile, a time of renewal and growth. This celestial herald continues to remind us of the cycles of life and the rhythms of nature. If we look to the constellation Leo, it holds a roaring history. In mythology, Leo is linked to the Nemean lion, a fearsome beast with impenetrable skin. Slayed by Hercules in one of his legendary labors, this lion was then immortalized in the stars. Leo's prominent position in the sky during spring makes it a symbol of strength and courage returning after the long winter months. Shifting focus to the constellation Andromeda, did you know that it contains the Andromeda Galaxy, our nearest spiral galaxy neighbor? This galaxy is visible to the naked eye under dark skies, appearing as a faint smudge of light. The story of Andromeda, chained to a rock as a sacrifice, speaks to themes of bravery and liberation, mirrored by the vast galaxy named after her, a celestial reminder of our place in the universe. Here's a captivating thought about the constellation Gemini, representing the twins Castor and Pollux. While Castor was a mortal, Pollux was divine, and their bond was so strong that Pollux shared his immortality with Castor. This story of selflessness and unity is reflected in the stars of Gemini, which shine together despite their differences. Another intriguing constellation is Cetus, representing a sea monster. In myth, Cetus was sent by Poseidon to devour Andromeda, who was saved by Perseus. This constellation is often associated with sea monsters and mythical creatures, sparking imaginations about the creatures lurking within the celestial ocean of stars. As we glide across the night sky, consider the constellation Auriga, the charioteer. Auriga is often depicted holding the reins of a chariot, and its brightest star, Capella, is one of the closest stars to Earth. In mythology, Auriga is sometimes associated with Erichthonius, an inventor from Athens credited with creating the four-horse chariot. The story of Auriga serves as a beacon of innovation and ingenuity shining through the ages. Let's unravel the mysteries of the constellation Ophiuchus, the serpent bearer. Often overlooked, Ophiuchus holds the cosmic serpent in his grasp, symbolizing healing and rebirth. This constellation's association with Asclepius, the healer, adds a layer of celestial wisdom, reminding us of the power of medicine and transformation. Consider, too, the constellation Corona Borealis, the Northern Crown. This semicircular constellation has been linked to Ariadne, who was given the crown as a wedding gift by Dionysus. When she passed away, Dionysus placed the crown among the stars. The delicate arc of Corona Borealis twinkles softly as a reminder of love and the enduring memories of those we cherish. Reflect on the myth of the constellation Perseus, which contains the famous variable star Algol, historically known as the demon star. Algol represents the head of Medusa, the Gorgon slain by Perseus. The star's periodic dimming and brightening has intrigued observers for centuries, making it one of the earliest known variable stars. Its rhythmic cycle is a celestial dance, reminding us of the predictability amidst the chaos of the cosmos. Finally, let your thoughts wander to the constellation Crux, the Southern Cross. For those in the Southern Hemisphere, this constellation has served as a navigational guide for centuries. Its prominence in southern skies has made it a symbol of hope and direction, guiding travelers and explorers through unknown territories. As the stars continue their eternal dance above, they weave a tapestry of stories and myths, linking the past with the present. Each constellation carries with it a legacy of human curiosity and wonder, a reminder of our deep connection to the universe. Let these celestial tales guide your thoughts gently into the night, as the blanket of stars above watches over you, whispering secrets of old and dreams yet to come. As you drift further into this celestial reverie, consider the constellation Orion, perhaps one of the most easily recognized patterns in the night sky. Did you know that Orion is not only a hunter in Greek mythology, but also a giant? His presence in the sky is a mark of the changing seasons, with his arrival heralding winter. Interestingly, Orion's belt, made up of 3 bright stars, aligns almost perfectly with the Great Pyramid of Giza, further linking the heavens with ancient human endeavors. Shifting your gaze to the constellation Taurus, you might be surprised to learn its link with the mighty Minotaur of Crete. The bull symbolizes strength and power, standing steadfast amongst the stars, and within Taurus lies the Hyades, a cluster of stars representing the daughters of Atlas. These stars form a V shape, echoing the horns of the bull and adding another layer of mythological depth to this celestial artwork. Speaking of star clusters, consider the fascinating beehive cluster in the constellation Cancer. This cluster, also known as Proserpine, is one of the nearest open clusters to Earth. Its name, which means manger in Latin, hints at its role as a nursery for new stars, a cosmic cradle nurturing stellar life amidst the backdrop of the universe. Another intriguing celestial figure is the constellation Lyra, home to the bright star Vega. In ancient Greek myth, Lyra is linked to Orpheus, the legendary musician whose songs could charm all living things and even stones. When Orpheus passed away, his lyre was placed in the sky by Zeus, immortalizing his music. This constellation's connection to harmony and the arts continues to inspire poets and dreamers alike. Let's journey next to the constellation Capricornus, often depicted as a sea goat. This mythical creature has origins in the story of Pan, the playful god who transformed himself into a sea goat to escape the monster Typhon. The half-goat, half-fish form of Capricornus speaks to the duality of nature, merging land and sea, earth and water, into one mystical symbol in the sky. Turning our attention to Aquarius, the water-bearer, it's intriguing to note its association with Ganymede, the beautiful youth who was taken to Olympus to serve as the cupbearer to the gods. The pouring water of Aquarius is often seen as a symbol of abundance and the nourishing rain, reminding us of the interconnectedness of the sky and the earth, the celestial and the terrestrial. And here's a fascinating fact about the constellation Pisces, which represents two fish. According to myth, these fish are said to have saved Aphrodite and Eros by carrying them to safety. As a token of gratitude, the gods placed the fish among the stars. The intertwined nature of Pisces reflects themes of unity and selflessness, swimming together through the vast ocean of the cosmos. Consider too the constellation Sagittarius, known as the centaur archer. Sagittarius is linked to the wise centaur Chiron, who was a mentor to many Greek heroes. Did you know that the center of our galaxy, the Milky Way, lies in the direction of Sagittarius? This cosmic crossroads is a fitting tribute to Chiron's wisdom, a reminder of the knowledge and mysteries that lie at the heart of the universe. As you ponder these tales, let your thoughts wander to the constellation Aries, the ram. This constellation is connected to the Golden Fleece, sought by Jason and the Argonauts. The story of Aries speaks to the pursuit of adventure and the quest for greatness, with its stars marking the beginning of the zodiac, heralding the arrival of spring and new beginnings. Moreover, the constellation Libra, the scales, holds a unique place in the sky as the only inanimate object among the zodiac. It's associated with Themis, the goddess of justice, and represents balance and fairness. Libra's placement in the heavens serves as a celestial reminder of the importance of harmony and equilibrium in our lives. As you continue to explore the night sky, think about the constellation Scorpius. With its distinctive shape, it is linked to the story of Orion, who was mortally wounded by a scorpion. This ancient tale speaks to the cycles of life and death, powerfully illustrating the interconnected stories woven into the tapestry of the stars. And finally, reflect on the constellation Virgo, representing the goddess of wheat and agriculture. Virgo is often associated with the story of Demeter and Persephone. This constellation signifies fertility and harvest, a symbol of the Earth's bounty and the eternal cycle of growth and renewal. As you imagine Virgo's graceful form, consider the gentle reminder she offers of the Earth's gifts and the rhythm of the seasons. With these stories in mind, allow yourself to be lulled by the gentle hum of the cosmos, a symphony of stars that has serenaded humanity for countless millennia. Each constellation, with its unique blend of myth and celestial wonder, invites you to dream and ponder. Let the night sky cradle your thoughts as you drift into a restful slumber, embraced by the timeless stories painted in the heavens.